Woman allegedly tricked her fiancé into killing family of 4 after discovering affair. On a peaceful Sunday evening in September 2023, the Romeoville police received a concerning call. Family members of a local family had been unable to contact them for several days. This led to a welfare check request from the police, a seemingly routine procedure that would soon uncover one of the most horrific murder cases in Illinois history. Upon arriving at the scene, police officers immediately noticed unusual signs. Through the windows, they could see an overturned TV and an upended coffee table. Moving deeper inside, they discovered the bodies of 2 dogs in the house. But that was just the beginning of the nightmare. "I have a body." An officer's shout rang out in the darkness. Then another discovery. "There's another victim here." Finally, the entire scene came to light. Zoraida Bartolome, her husband Alberto Rolón, and their 2 young sons, all brutally murdered. Initially, the crime scene appeared to be a robbery gone wrong. Window screens were cut, furniture was disturbed and broken, all suggesting a violent break-in. However, when investigators began examining the victims' mobile phones, a completely different story gradually emerged. Through phone examination, police discovered an extramarital relationship between Zoraida and a man named Nathaniel Huey Jr. This wasn't a brief affair. They had met at work and developed a secret relationship lasting several months, frequently meeting at hotels. Nathaniel Huey Jr. was not a model citizen. His record was thick with traffic violations and multiple DUIs. According to truthfinder.com, Huey's criminal history included multiple instances of driving with a suspended license, driving under the influence, and operating an unregistered vehicle. However, the most notable thing about Huey was his relationship with his fiancée Ermelinda Palomo. They had been together since 2015, but it wasn't a stable or faithful relationship. From the early days, Huey had a tendency to be unfaithful, and Palomo seemed to have grown accustomed to it. Ermelinda Palomo, 50, initially appeared as a sympathetic victim of betrayal. When questioned by police, she claimed she had only learned about Huey's latest affair that day. "I had hoped he had changed," she told investigators. "I had hoped I could trust him." However, what investigators gradually uncovered was far more shocking. Palomo hadn't just known about the relationship between Huey and Zoraida. She had launched a complex and deadly psychological manipulation campaign against her lover. Using the Pinger messaging app, Palomo created multiple fake online personalities, including one who claimed to be the leader of a drug gang. Through these virtual characters, she began sending messages to Huey, gradually building a fictitious story about Zoraida plotting against him. Palomo skillfully created fake conversations in which Zoraida was portrayed as working with dangerous criminals who were planning to harm Huey. This manipulation was carried out so sophisticatedly that Huey completely believed his life was in serious danger. In the early hours of September 16, 2023, around 3:17 a.m., Palomo drove Huey to the Ballamrolone family home in Romeoville, following Palomo's instructions to stage the scene to look like a teenage burglary. Huey cut through the window screens before breaking in through an unlocked door. What followed was an unforgivable sequence of violence. Alberto Rolón, in an effort to protect his family, became the first victim. He was shot multiple times while trying to run to his family. Huey then proceeded to the bedroom where Zoraida and the children were hiding. In a final brutal act, he shot through the door, killing all 3. Even the family pets didn't escape this rampage. Remarkably, the day after the massacre, Huey went to work as usual, showing no unusual signs. When police came to question him at his workplace, Huey remained unusually calm. He refused to let police check his phone, citing privacy concerns. Meanwhile, Palomo provided a false alibi for Huey. She claimed they had been home together all weekend, drinking and watching movies. "He slept in the garage," she told investigators. Everyone could hear him snoring. As the investigation tightened, Huey and Palomo suddenly fled Illinois, triggering a nationwide manhunt. Initially, Palomo's family reported her missing, leading police to believe she might have been kidnapped by Huey. However, it quickly became clear this was a voluntary escape. The chase led authorities to Catoosa, Oklahoma, a 9-hour drive south of the crime scene. Security cameras at a Walmart captured the couple smiling, seemingly unaware their final moments were approaching. When police initiated a traffic stop, the situation quickly escalated into a high-speed chase, ending in a horrific crash. Huey's SUV caught fire, and in the final chaotic moments, Huey shot Palomo in the head. He then attempted suicide by shooting himself in the jaw but failed. A second shot finally ended his life, just before authorities could apprehend him. Romeoville Police Chief Chris Romadka later stated, "Nothing can prepare someone to face an incident like this, and nothing can justify such senseless violence." The Romeoville tragedy has become a painful warning about how jealousy, manipulation, and deceit can escalate into unimaginable violence. Nathaniel Huey Jr.'s history revealed a pattern of problematic behavior long before the murders. Public records gathered through background checks showed a long list of violations, particularly related to driving offenses. He had been repeatedly cited for driving with a suspended license, DUIs, and operating a vehicle with suspended plates. These incidents painted a picture of someone who regularly disregarded authority and legal responsibility. In contrast, Ermelinda Palomo portrayed herself as a 50-year-old woman who was too old for typical relationship drama. In police interviews, she initially described herself as a mature individual who understood that when partners cheat, the fault lies with them, not the other woman. This appearance of wisdom and understanding made her complex manipulation scheme all the more shocking when discovered. The level of detail in Palomo's deception was remarkable. She didn't just create one fake identity, but built an entire network of fictional characters who could corroborate each other's stories. Through careful management of these personas, she was able to create a convincing narrative that played on Huey's fears and insecurities. The messages she sent as the gang leader were reportedly crafted carefully to gradually escalate the perceived threat. This slow buildup made the deception more believable as it didn't trigger immediate suspicion. She used her knowledge of Huey's personality and fears to make the threats seem particularly credible to him. For investigators, one of the most challenging aspects of the case was unraveling the complex web of digital communications. The use of multiple messaging apps and fake identities created a maze of electronic evidence that needed to be carefully pieced together. The investigation required extensive digital forensics work to trace the various messages back to their true source. This case has highlighted the destructive potential of emotional manipulation in relationships and the extreme lengths some people will go to maintain control. 4 innocent lives, Zoraida Bartolome, Alberto Rolón, and their 2 young sons, were senselessly taken, leaving behind grieving family members and a community still struggling to comprehend such meaningless violence. The Romeoville murders serve as a cautionary tale about the destructive power of jealousy and the importance of addressing toxic relationships before they spiral out of control. While the case may be closed, its impact continues to resonate with law enforcement officials, mental health professionals, and community members who seek to prevent similar tragedies in the future. For the surviving members of the Rolón family, no resolution can truly close their loss. The memory of their loved ones will live on as a reminder of the importance of recognizing and addressing warning signs of emotional manipulation and relationship violence before they lead to irreversible consequences.